Hello, my dear listeners. My name is Kishore Ganesh, and in this episode of the Vocal About Visuals podcast, I will be reviewing Kalki's Ponniyin Selvan. Kalki is the name of the author of the book Ponniyin Selvan, but the movie that is out today is for sure Mani Ratnam's. I'm not even going to try to beat around the bush. Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 is magnificent. So if you want to pause this podcast here and watch the film and come back to it, I would totally understand and probably even encourage it. But the coming back part is an absolute must, okay? And now, I'm assuming that you have watched the film, so yes, let me start with my thoughts. Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 or PS1 is the movie based on Kalki's historical fiction novel of the same name. The story behind how this movie got made in real life itself sounded very interesting when I heard it from the various press conferences and media spots that I devoured leading up to the movie. Making Ponniyin Selvan seems like the story of Tamil cinema itself, with the plans to make the movie beginning with MGR, who acquired the rights with the aim of making the film. But that didn't happen, so it was sold to Kamal Hassan, who also couldn't make it, and finally it was left to Mani Ratnam to finally bring this tale alive on the silver screen. And what a job he has done. He has made Ponniyin Selvan in his own style, with the quintessential Mani Ratnam grammar, and thanks to this, PS1 looks and feels quote unquote real. As much as this is a tale of kings and queens, and enemies and spies, and of war and love, and of betrayal and deceit, and of politics and allies and alliances, this is a tale of relationships. It is a drama, of course, with action, adventure, and a bit of fantasy mixed in. But what this film does best and rest at is in the drama, in the myriad of human relationships that exist in this universe. In this sense, yes, it does bring to mind a certain other show with similar themes and entities, but also dragons. But it will be absolutely idiotic to compare PS and Game of Thrones, because why compare two epic works of art when you can enjoy and appreciate both? Coming back to PS1, in order to bring this epic to life, Mani Ratnam has assembled a star cast that is as big as the Chola Empire. The who's who of stars and character actors are a part of this, and all of them have serious acting credentials. Of course, an actor is nothing without material to work with, and in this context, Trisha, Aishwarya Rai, Jayam Ravi, and Aishwarya Lakshmi are a slight tier above everyone else. But this by no means is a slight at the other actors, because how can you fault someone like Vikram when it comes to acting? Karthi and Jairam are great for the film, but I've seen them be these people in other films too. So there was no novelty there. But that's the only reason why I felt more impressed by the previously mentioned folks. Take Trisha for example. In both her face off scenes with Aishwarya Rai, she manages to convincingly get the upper hand both within the plot and in the scene with her performance. And that is the general trend as well. In all her combination shots, Aishwarya Rai comes out on top except when it is with Trisha. And I mean, isn't that what a princess is all about? And one more line about Miss Rai. I have heard people sing praises of her beauty all my life, but I never really bought into that. But for the first time, I get it. Maybe because here it is not just beauty falling in place, but everything else too. Jayam Ravi too falls in this bracket. I watched his movies, was entertained by them, but I never really looked at Jayam Ravi, the actor. But in this, he manages to convincingly play the good guy, the chosen one, to a level that you, as the audience member, are convinced that, okay, now I get why he's Rajaraja Chola. And Aishwarya Lakshmi looks stunning playing the complex character of Pungulali, where in a very short span of time, she has to show both strength and vulnerability. On the whole, I don't think there was one bad performance in the entire film, even if not all the 100% of them were my favorites. For example, I was not convinced by the Pandyas, but again, they were supposed to perform at a certain quote unquote meter, and depending on if you like that meter or not, The performances will either work for you or they won't. Moving on to Ravi Varman's cinematography, even after so many years in the business, Maniratnam's staging still feels as though it has been conceived by someone who's making his first film, albeit one who has the experience of someone like Maniratnam. It has the quirkiness, inventiveness, and novelty of a newbie combined with the experience and aesthetic sense of someone with a ton of experience and mastery of the craft like Ratnam. And I know for a fact that this is a team effort, so Ravi Varman needs to be mentioned in the same breath as Ratnam here. The shots are gorgeous, real, and amazingly minimalistic. A movie of this magnitude demands grandeur, but there is an understated nature to the grandeur. The best analogy I can give here is one that is related to a costume choice of the movie. All the jewelry worn by the actors in this film are made of real gold. But that said, the jewelry themselves are very few in number. The only exceptions are, of course, Kundavai, played by Trisha, and Nandini, played by Aishwarya Rai. A. R. Rahman's BGM just blends into the narrative, but a couple of his songs, like Chola Chola and Punni Nadi, personally didn't impress me too much in the film, which is Devaralan Atam. Special mention to the Sengurudi Seyone section of the song, which continues to give me goosebumps since the first time I've heard it. Special mention to the set design and costumes, because they hold up a movie in a way that I haven't seen these departments hold up a movie in a while. They easily transported me to the 9th century and kept me there. And finally, I have to give props to the dialogues, which touched upon a lot of true, pressing, and quote unquote controversial issues that maybe were not part of the cultural zeitgeist of the time, but surely make sense in the current context of 2022. Overall, PS1 is a phenomenal achievement. This is an epic work brought to life by a master filmmaker who continues to excite, entertain, and surprise us. All things said and done, how often will you come across a tale with this much density of events and characters and intrigue? And as soon as I saw the climax of PS1, I just wanted to continue with the remaining 2.5 to 3 hours of the film that constitute the second part of Kalki's and now Mani Ratnam's Ponniyin Selvan. Once again, my name is Kishore Ganesh. This is the Vocal About Visuals podcast, and thank you, my dear listeners, for your time and for listening. If you like this podcast, please do subscribe to it on your preferred podcast platforms and on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast Plural for regular updates on the episodes that are about to come out.